What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday, January 28th. For I'm going to obviously record a podcast for all this, but before we get started, this is absolutely insane what's going on in the market today. I guess over the past few days, we have, let me pull up my charts real quick. We have GameStop just crushing it. We have AMC through the roof. And that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about on today's podcast. I'm going to actually get that started right now. What is going on, everybody? We're back. Another episode, Ask Me About My Podcast. Andrew coming to you live on Facebook. Nope, just kidding. Live on YouTube and recorded everywhere you listen to podcasts. Today I'm going to dive into the craziness that's happening in the stock market. Today's January 28th. It's about 7:20. We're 10 minutes before the markets open. I'm going to kind of explain what's going on in the Reddit rally. Everything from GameStop, AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry, and Bed Bath & Beyond have been taken through the roof by the retail investor. Kind of, I don't know, for better or for worse, it's exciting, and it's kind of been a theme that's been going on since the start of the pandemic. We can kind of attribute this to the rise of social media and the rise of different platforms. You can kind of see, I guess I would consider the start of this to be the Black Lives Matter movement, and how it got supercharged on social. Obviously gained a lot of traction with their on-ground actions, but I think that's kind of, if I had to pick one event, kind of the starting event for what we're starting to see start in politics and kind of move its way over into the financial markets. We have, like I said, the Reddit rally. This was all kind of started by Wall Street Bets, which has a current following of 4.5 million users, and the rise of the small retail investors. This was kind of charged back in, like I said, back kind of the start of the pandemic with Robinhood. Opening up the markets to everybody. You had Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports come in and talk super heavily about getting invested and involved in the stock market, and that is kind of where we are today. You have Dave Portnoy coming out again today talking about his frustrations with the Robinhood app and the lack of transparency, maybe, or the lack of kind of, I guess transparency is probably the right word when it comes to what you can invest in, how you can invest. Right now, Robinhood's blocking the buying of a lot of these major names. I haven't looked specifically, but I've heard at least Nokia and GameStop and AMC, they've blocked buying. You can only sell the shares that you have on Robinhood, which is crazy. Someone who boasts themselves as being like a platform of the people. I think it is super important to remember why Robinhood is so inexpensive. Maybe they do sell a lot of their information to large Wall Street corporations, and that's where a lot of them get their trend data from and seeing what the retail investor is doing. So they do kind of have a quote unquote higher power that they speak to and are kind of governed by. So maybe we're seeing a little bit of restriction when it comes to that. As Dave Portnoy said, I think this is kind of the demise of Robinhood, and I think a lot of people are going to start pulling out and moving to more traditional platforms now that they understand the basics. You still have people that have absolutely no idea what they're talking about or what they're doing, but I don't think that's going to discourage anybody from really just Dave Portnoy says buy, they're going to start buying. Kind of diving into GameStop specifically, we saw our first gap up in January 25th, where the stock started out roughly 65. It was about $40 before that, kind of ramped up to 65, and it jumped from 65 to 98. And then we saw our next gap up on the 26th overnight, from 26th to the 27th, from $142 to $300, which is insane for a company that's quote unquote going bankrupt. So again, I think this kind of contributes back to the rise of retail investors, the little guy, and how I don't think they're going to be outsmarted, but how they're on the rise and the influence that social has on, whether it's a buyer, a movement, any of that. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it today. I'm going to be watching the stock market pretty closely here in a little bit. Looks like we're about to start trading in 6.5 minutes. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys make some good cash today. None of this is financial advice. This is just my opinion. Do not use this for financial advice, I guess I should say. Thank you, everybody, for listening or watching. Like I said, we're going live on YouTube every morning, probably around 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 7:30 Mountain Time. And we also have I have my podcast on all platforms, everything from Spotify to Apple Podcasts. Really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening, and crush your Thursday. Have a great one.